What is up, guys and girls? Welcome to the world's best course on Python. I mean, Python. Yeah. So, I will be teaching you everything. When I say everything, I mean everything. So, let's say you don't even know anything about Python. You don't even know the spelling of Python. Well, I will teach you right from the beginning. The spelling of Python is Python. Right from the very basics, using this course, you can learn the very advanced topics of Python. So the topics covered in these video series are going to be introduction to Python, setup of Python,
data types of Python, operators used in Python, statements, functions, object-oriented programming, match method, libraries, modules and packages, errors, testing and debugging, decoders and generators, file handling, web scraping, PDF, file handling, emailing, data structures, GUIs,
and then we would have an introduction to data science and machine learning. So Python, as we all know, is a programming language. Well, our device understands zeros and ones. So be it a laptop or a PC or a mobile phone or even a smartwatch, it just understands zeros and ones. Well, we can't directly code in zeros and ones, right? And that's the reason why we use programming languages. So the programming language has to be converted into zeros and ones for the computer or device to understand it and to process it. And to convert our code into zeros and ones, assemblers, compilers or interpreters comes handy. Well, these are not the only ones who convert the code, but on larger extent they helps to convert our code into zeros and ones. So our code, not just Python but any code, has to be converted into zeros and ones for our device to understand and process it. Let's have an example. This is a simple Python code which prints 1 plus 1, that is 2. The output would be 2. So the computer won't understand what print means or what plus operator means. So we have to convert it into zeros and ones, and then the machine would process, and then the output would be generated. Again, the output would be in zeros and ones. So that again has to be converted into a human readable code or a Python code. Well, to be more specific, Python uses interpreter which would parse our code line by line, and other programming languages like C, C++, they use compilers which parse the entire code at once instead of line by line. So Python is also called as high level language because we don't write directly in zeros and ones, and zeros and ones is also called as low level language or machine level language. So is Python only the language available? No. We have C, we have C++, Java and many other like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Python remains the most popular programming language amongst others because of various reasons, and we have many advantages of using Python over other programming languages. So let's have a look on some history of how Python was invented. So it was created in 1990 by a guy called Guido van Rossum. Well, I'm not sure about the pronunciation, but his name was Guido van Rossum. He was reading the published scripts from Monty's Python Flying Circus. It was a BBC comedy series from 1970. And then he wanted a name which was short, unique and slightly mysterious. So he decided to call it Python. So the Python name was derived from this show called Monty's Python Flying Circus. Here are some screenshots of this show that I found on the internet. Alright, so now let's have a look on the advantages of using Python. So the very first advantage is it supports dynamic programming. So what is dynamic programming? Well, dynamic programming means that you don't have a need to assign type to a variable. So let's say you are printing 1 plus 1. Python code will directly understand this. We are talking about, when we are typing 1 plus 1, we are talking about integers, that is we are talking about numbers, and the output would be 2. But in other programming languages, we have to assign a type. Okay, so here I have written int, which means integer 1 plus integer 2, and then the output would be 2, otherwise we would get an error. So this is a very far more convenient and fast way of coding, whereas this takes a lot of time. So the second big advantage is it is easy to use. The Python programming languages focuses on readability. There are tons of libraries available. So let's say you are trying to plot a graph or analyze the data, you can simply use NumPy, Pandas libraries instead of directly writing any code. So libraries provides many functions which are very handy at many use cases. Then the Python's syntax is really simple, and that's the reason why these memes exist. Okay, so Python uses print to print output, whereas in C out we have to write C out, and then the syntax is a little lengthy. And in Java then the syntax gets really lengthy, like system.out.println, and then we have to write what has to be printed. And that's the reason why these memes exist. So Python is used in many scenarios. So the very first one is web development. Python is used in Django. D is silent, so it is pronounced as Django. It is used in server-side programming. So it deals with basically databases on all the server-side things. It is used in software development. It is also used in mathematics. It is used in systems scripting. It is used in data science, machine learning, AI, web scraping, that is getting data from the website. It is used in computer vision, etc., and obviously in my course too. And and that's the reason why even I love Python. Don't take the photo in the different way, but yeah, I love Python. That's the reason why. So now let's have a look at the setup, which I will be covering in the next video. So stay till then.